you know which data roles are right for you? Do you know which ones will give you the best opportunity to progress in the future? Are you thinking about which ones will be bad and the ones that you may not enjoy very much? Well, here are some of the best and worst data roles that you can do with no experience, but you have to be wary about the best and the worst ones to make a right decision for you. Number one, the education industry. The best roles for the education industry are data officer roles. You may be able to help schools and universities make better decisions with data, and it could be a role that's a mix of technical skills and real world impact. Now, there are numerous opportunities here, and loads of people don't understand how many there are. There could be jobs within research projects where you're managing the data collected over a long duration research project. These are really easy to find, and if you need help with that, just let us know or get some of our data products on Gumroad. So these include supporting research projects or managing data collected by the university, either for things like timetabling and other pieces of work. You may also be able to help with non-university and non-schooling organizations, such as organizations that collate data to publish national statistics. These are like statistics bodies, and these roles are also available, although not as widely available as the more data and research oriented roles. These are some of the best roles, and they'll give you a lot of transferable skills, and you'll be able to work perhaps even nationally as you progress and gain more experience. Some of the worst roles, and mind you, they may not be titled as this, but usually they might be. These manual data entry roles, they may be titled as entry clerks in the job description. These are repetitive, low skill work with little to no room for growth. It's prone to automation, so be careful getting into these roles as they may not be around for a lot longer, but it's just something to look out for. Sometimes it might be the only thing that you have the option to go with, and there's a strategy to branch out. But generally speaking, if you have an undergraduate degree or a master's degree, you may not want to touch such roles. Next, healthcare. Some of the best roles are these junior health informatics analyst roles. They may not be titled like this, as I said before. Usually it's probably health analyst or junior information analyst. And again, we can help you search for some of these if you need help. These are best because you get direct access to patient data. These are very, very large data sets. And having access to them, understanding how the data sets are queried, how they're set up, can give you immense experience knowing how national data sets or hospital data sets are used to help solve patient issues, help reduce things like unwarranted variation in various communities. And this can be actually an incredibly useful experience to possess, especially if you've done it for a number of years and you're due for a raise or amidst the growing demand for these skilled professionals, especially in local councils, hospitals, regionally. There is an increased need for people who can manage these often nuanced and complex data sets that are highly sensitive. You may think that this is prone to automation as well, and some aspects of it might be. But because of how almost finicky these data sets are, you need people on the ground. Because of how sensitive they are, the data generated and the intelligence generated from them need to be correct, which is why these are in high demand. If you need help getting one of these roles, depending on what country you are, it may be less or more. But if you're in a place like England, there's loads of roles like this, and we can help you practice for interviews for this. Public sector. As mentioned in a previous video, I said to be kind of careful about public sector because it's not as fast moving and it's generally not good for great experience, but it is good for stability and offering an entry level, and if you want, a long-term career. But it's a dangerous trap to fall in, being comfortable in such roles. But yeah, like it says, it's stable, it's government backed, but definitely be prepared for bureaucracy. If that's not your thing, it's not a lot of people's thing, and it's not mine. You want to stay away from it. But if you don't mind bureaucracy, if you like the safety of these large teams and large HR departments, actually, which is quite good because things may not be taken seriously if you escalate them, but there's an option to do so and you're generally protected in that sense, then, you should consider it and consider it well. You can use it in your strategy to launch off to other things in the future. We haven't been covering some of the worst ones, but public sector, especially these report generating ones, and this probably comes with most of the roles in this industry where you need to create these repetitive reports day in and day out. It lacks creativity and problem solving, which is one of the main things that you need for transferable skills, especially if you're going to move in the future. And a lot of these things kind of just, it's a in and out, get the input, create the output, do some incredibly manual steps in between, and you may be a part of that. So if that's not if that's something you want to avoid these public sector roles. No job description is going to say you're going to generate reports all day, but you'll find out soon enough if that's your kind of day job. And if you need someone to talk to about this, then drop us a message. Now here comes the private sector, which is the kind of tip top, but it's also comes with its own dangers. Largely being, it's not as stable, and there is a risk of, you definitely learn a lot. There's a lot of learning and there's a lot of growth. It's high impact, fast paced. But there's also a risk of getting into a role that may not be focused on data. It's advertised as data, but it's actually just a sales position, and it may be a junior one at that. So look for a role that's focused clearly on data analysis that will enhance your skills. That's not just building intelligence dashboards, but that will give you experience. But it's something that has something to do with manipulation of data, converting it to something useful, as opposed to just building pretty looking things. Cleaning data can be messy, but it can also give you good experience. And yeah, just be wary of all these things. And be also wary that these private roles usually don't have big HR departments. So if that's something you want, then the public, look into that. And finally, nuclear and energy. It's kind of a new emerging industry that you should be considering, that you should be kind of looking into if you're early in your career. These junior analysts, there's a lot of up and coming data analyst roles internationally, especially in the EU, that relate to nuclear, where you may be involved in maintenance, or you may be actually involved in energy, data analysis. So it's certainly a critical role in a high stakes industry, which comes with a high risk and also a high reward in the form of good wages. You don't want to be stuck in compliance as a data clerk. It's dry and procedural, but take each one individually. So where will you go? There's a lot of options and there is so many different opportunities that you don't know about. So you need to talk to people, drop messages in the comments. You can send us emails if you'd like to be more private. You can join our email list for free. You can check out some of our free products in the description. Don't be afraid to explore new areas. Things are changing fast. And it's in your best interest to be exposed to as many things as possible and appreciate the different opportunities that are available to you. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You can have a chat with us for free if you like. But just think about that. Don't be afraid to change and explore new areas. The choice is yours.